Hi, and welcome to Rudy Sassoon's Science Fantasy Experience, and to a special episode of Tales from the Toy Shelf. Usually with Tales from the Toy Shelf, I pick a toy at random and chat about it. But because this is a special, I thought I would do a 2018 toy highlights. So I've picked a mixture of different things, different toys that I picked up in 2018. So to start things off, let's talk Holy Grails. So I was lucky enough to get 3 Holy Grails last year. And, you know, you don't get 3 Holy Grails in your lifetime. But I really got involved with toy collecting last year, and I'm blown away to have these 3/4. I say 3/4 because the first one is Wheeled Warriors, and I have Drill Sergeant as well, but I thought I'd show off Armed Force, and it is a Holy Grail. I got this in the middle of the year, I guess, maybe sort of June-ish, when I first started the channel actually. I think I did an unboxing, maybe like my 3rd video, back when it wasn't even called the Science Fantasy Experience. I think it was just Rudy Sassoon's YouTube channel. And yeah, this is an absolute holy grail to own toys from the Wheeled Warriors line. Not only are they incredible toys in incredible condition, all the gold, all the silver, they're incredibly playful because they're modular and you can totally change them up. You can have different wheels, and you know, the canopy is open, and there is drivers that fit inside. As a kid, I would have loved owning Wheeled Warrior toys, and I didn't know they actually existed until the mid 90s. I used to make Armed Force out of Lego when I was a kid because there was no toys, or if there were toys, they definitely weren't available for sale here in the UK. So yeah, that was my first Holy Grail of the year, and they are display pieces. I don't often get them off the shelf because I'm scared of them, because I just don't want the gold to crack off, but I don't think I've got problems with that. So yeah, that was my first Holy Grail. And then the second Holy Grail was G1 Detritus. And again, I didn't think I'd ever get an eHobby G1 Detritus, and he is absolutely glorious. I picked him up at TFN for an insanely cheap price. It's the one that I've wanted out of the eHobby line for the longest time. I'm thinking way back to, you know, like 10 years ago when I first knew of the figure. And the Hound mould is one of the best Diaclone Hasbro Transformers, and the deco is beautiful. You know, there's little bits of, you know, sprayed on dust paintwork, and it has the incredible backstory of being a junkie on. You can't ask for more in a toy, and it's, as I said, its rightful place as a Holy Grail for me. And as I'm going to repeat myself, I didn't think I was going to really ever get one. I didn't think I'd get one at TFN, and it might have even been my very first purchase actually at TFN, thinking back. So yeah, that's my second Holy Grail. And then my last Holy Grail is the Playmates Casey Jones, which featured in a Figure Force video, I think maybe the day after I got it, and I purposely opened it on screen because this is like the true epitome of a Holy Grail. A toy that I wanted as a kid and could not find it on toy shelves. You know, I knew it existed, and it's all complete. It's in incredible condition, and it epitomizes one of my favorite characters from Teenage Mutant Hero / Ninja Turtles. And even just having it in my hands again, because I've not taken it off the shelf since I got it, it's just been a display piece, and it just always nostalgia feels when I see it, and when I've just handled it for, you know, the second time. So yeah, that was my third Holy Grail. Yeah, as I said, I got deeply involved with toy collecting last year, and it's been a mixed bag of what I've picked up. Picking up toys that I've wanted, toys that I'd not seen before, toys that bring nostalgia feels, toys that are brand new. You know, I picked up Power of the Primes Punch Counter Punch. I picked up, you know, Tigra. You know, just this whole mix. I found it quite hard to pick bits and pieces for this video, actually. So moving on. I don't want to digress too much about what I bought and not show. So what's next? What's next for the Science Fantasy experience? Mint on card. I'm not a mint on card kind of guy. I've got a few. I've Shadows of the Empire, bits and pieces, and a couple of Joes. And the first mint on card I picked up this year was Star Trek Beverly Crusher from, I feel like it's maybe 1990, 91. And it was a completely unexpected purchase. And I want a little bit of variety in the collection, so having some mint on card stuff this is what I'm going to do, and it's always going to be something vintage. I'm not fussed about keeping new toys on the card unless the artwork is so ridiculous that I never want to get it out. But this is super cool, and as I said, it was an unexpected purchase. I went into Galactic Attic. I can't get my words out. I went into Galactic Attic in Cardiff when I was visiting my cousin, because he wanted to show me this awesome toy shop that had shown up in one of the little arcades. And I go in there and I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to buy. And then we left. And then we went to Kong's and played some arcade games and had a couple of beers. And then I was just like, I want to go back and get Beverly Crusher. Being that she was my favourite character from the show. Never had Star Trek action figures as a kid. By that point, I reckon I'm, you know, early teens, or maybe 12, 13. But super cool. And it just, when you look at the back, you've got the bio and other characters available in the wave, and then a different selection of accessories, and it's a nostalgia piece. I love just retro vintage card backs. In some ways they just don't make them like they used to, and the same can be said for Joe and Star Wars figures. They just really epitomise what having toys was as a kid, because you'd look at the back and think, yes, I wanted to get that figure, I wanted to get that figure. And it pops on the shelf with, you know, the really bright colours, with the pinks and the blues, the ultramarine. So yeah, that was my first mint on card. And then I can't not show my Secret Santa. So here is Bazooka, my favourite Joe character of all time, in his battle core. And again, this is a vintage one from '92, and it's in beautiful condition. And I have two Bazookas now mint on card, and I know I'll probably want to open one of them. So I've got the 25th anniversary as seen on screen Bazooka next to Alpine, you know, for, because they're my two favourite characters and they sit together, one open, one sealed. But I don't know if I can open this one. And again, it's just, the artwork is absolutely phenomenal, and again the card backs and a brand new bio, because he slightly changes when he goes into the battle core. So yeah, a couple of mint on cards came into the collection in 2018. Yeah, other highlights. I picked up some robotics, which at some point there's going to be a Let's Talk episode all about robotics, because I've got an abundance to talk about with robotics, and it's now become a restoration project. I've never restored a toy ever in my life, and here it is. So as you can see, it is kind of in pieces. What I've been doing lately, so at some point it will be all put back together. I have slowly been, because it came mostly unstickered, and it came with unused sticker sheets in one of the boxes. So I've been going around and stickering it completely up. The cockpit wasn't even stickered up, so I've been going through awesome emotions stickering a big toy. And I say it's become a restoration project, as I bought it blind from the seller, and he was just like, I think everything's there, but I haven't checked it in years. And I was just like, I want robotics, I'm gonna buy it no matter what, because it was at a price I felt incredibly comfortable paying for two sets. So I've got the R2000 and the R4000. But the sad part about it, and these are some of the perils that you have when buying vintage toys, it's grey plastic, so some bits have yellowed and some bits are brittle building them. I've actually smashed a few pieces, so that's how it became a restoration project. So I need to pick up other bits and pieces. But the electronics, the guy had left the batteries in for years and years, and they have deteriorated, and one looked like it exploded, and the battery acid, I guess it's battery acid inside, had gone in and rusted a lot of the components. So the mechanics and the electronics, the hydraulics, don't exactly work. Some do, some don't, but blessing in disguise, I reckon so, because I've found this new love for building a toy back to its pristine glory. So if I grab Argus, he's so big he might not even fit in the screen. He's well on the way to being complete. He just now needs the battery packs to be repaired, like a little bit of soldering, and I might even just try and buy replacements and, you know, extra wheels. I could probably make one complete one from the two, but I ain't gonna sell myself short. I'm literally just gonna get the two up and going, because they are incredible display pieces, but I want to see them working. I want to be able to show it on the video when I do the Let's Talk episode, because they're phenomenal, and I never had them as a kid, and I don't want to say too much more because it'll spoil the Let's Talk episode. So yeah, that's restoration highlight. And then my final highlight, I wouldn't be able to do a video, a highlight show, without talking about action figures. There was something lacking from the collection, I realised last year, and it was action figures. For a long time it was always about Transformers and Mask, bits and pieces like that, and I hadn't fallen out of love with action figures at all. I'd just not been buying them. Maybe I'd forgotten how good they were, being that I only had a few in the collection. And when we started Figure Force, our first videos were the £5 eBay challenge, and we were pretty free to buy whatever we wanted, and I think that's what kick-started my enthusiasm for action figures once again. And it all started with Oddjob. I've still not been able to find his bowler hat, which is a shame, because I'd like to have him with the bowler hat, but that's for sometime later on in the year. And this is the figure that kick-started it all. And then subsequently, as the months went by, I've just picked up more and more action figures. So I thought, as an end to the highlights video, I would show off the #1 action figure purchase of the year. I don't want to ramble on for too long about, oh, this is my top 5 action figures of the year. Just pick one. And it has to be Cactus Jack. It's such an incredible action figure on so many levels, from articulation to how it looks, to its posability, and to what it does emotionally. I'm not the biggest wrestling fan, but I've watched a ton of it, I'd say, in the latter months of last year, and I just remembered how good Mick Foley, Cactus Jack is. And talking to the fellow members of Figure Force, they love wrestling, and I was just like, do you know what I need? I need WWE, WWF, WCW preference for me figures in the collection. Yeah, Sting's good, and he will always be a favourite of mine, but he'll never come close to Cactus Jack. He's an absolute highlight of the year, and he's such a great figure. So these have been my toy highlights of 2018. Take care, and I'll see you all on the next Figure Force video, and whichever video from my channel comes next. Thanks. Bye.